What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the Raw Recap. Started off with, once again, a recap of Extreme Rules. More importantly, the Fatal 5-Way match. We then go to the ring where you see a whole bunch of flashy shit. Guess who's coming? Bray Wyatt. He's sitting there flapping his gums about everybody else. Calls out Roman Reigns.
Bruh.
Really? Roman Reigns comes out and is booed by the crowd. Roman Reigns starts talking a little bit, and then he hits Bray Wyatt, which brings us to our first match. You guessed it, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. I thought we were done with this shit on Sunday. I guess not. Thank God this was the first match, just to get it over with. Roman Reigns starts off in control, and then Bray Wyatt takes over after the commercial break. Roman Reigns fights back. There's a few near pinfalls between the two of them. They end up fighting outside the ring. Bray Wyatt gets in, and Roman Reigns just made it in before the 10 count, before he got counted out. Bray Wyatt catches a Superman punch, a spear, and then takes a pin, so Roman Reigns wins. There's a backstage interview with Enzo and Cass, basically saying they don't know who their attacker is. Then we cut to another backstage bit where Alexa Bliss approaches Kurt Angle about doing an episode of This Is My Life, to which Kurt Angle quickly shoots it down, saying that last week's Bayley This Is Your Life episode was the worst in WWE history, and I agree. It was terrible. Kurt Angle reminds Alexa Bliss that she promised Nia Jax a title match after she was done with her bit with Bayley, and schedules a title match for later tonight. Elias comes out, starts playing his guitar, and gets booed by the crowd. Dean Ambrose comes out and beats the hell out of Elias Sampson. Challenges The Miz, to which on the Titantron, The Miz quickly no-goes the rematch, because we're going to have the Intercontinental Comeback Tour party, celebration, whatever the hell it is. Just another excuse to waste time that we could be watching a match. Elias comes back into the ring and beats up on Dean Ambrose. A couple moments later, we cut backstage, and Dean Ambrose walks up to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle tells him that he needs to take the night off. We then go to Samoa Joe in the ring, saying that he doesn't fear Lesnar. And Paul Heyman comes out. And tells Samoa Joe that Brock Lesnar will be winning that match and will be keeping his title. Fast forward towards the end of the interview, Samoa Joe brings Paul Heyman to the corner of the ring and describes in very minute detail that he's going to be getting a coquina clutch, and that he's going to tell Brock Lesnar in a way that only Paul Heyman can describe exactly what had happened to him. And he pulls him into the middle of the ring and gives him a coquina clutch, and that was hilarious. To which we shortly find out that we're going to have a match between Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe.
Dude!
Seriously, WWE, we've gone over this yesterday at Extreme Rules. Storyline over. Let's move on with something else. Let's stop doing the same shit every goddamn week. We then have a match, a very short match, with Sheamus and Cesaro versus Slater and Rhino. It really wasn't much of a match. They beat up on Slater. Slater tried to tag Rhino, but Cesaro pulled the legs out from underneath Rhino. He fell down to the floor, and Sheamus just beat up Slater and pinned him. Quick match. Then we have a cruiserweight match. TJ Perkins versus Mustafa Ali. Holy shit, everybody. There's somebody else in the cruiserweight division. It was a short match. TJ Perkins won it. TJ Perkins was trying to get Neville to get him a title match, and he said he was going to talk to Kurt Angle about it. After TJ Perkins wins, Neville comes out and says, I have unfortunate news. TJ Perkins says, well, we're going to go talk to Kurt Angle together. And Neville beats up TJ Perkins and says that we're going to have the title match tomorrow on 205 Live. We then have a match between Kalisto and Titus O'Neil. Short match. Kalisto won. Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews were arguing out at ringside afterwards. We then cut backstage, and Big Cass has been jumped by a mystery assailant. So then we come to the Miz's championship celebration. There's champagne out there, balloons that say Miz, and a dancing bear that says congratulations. The Miz gets in, says, tells Maurice thank you for everything, including the bear, that's going to be the mascot of the tour. Maurice goes, what are you talking about? I didn't get the bear. And then the Miz says, well, I didn't get the bear. So the Miz jumps the guy in the bear suit, grabs a microphone and tells everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Ambrose rips off the bear mask. It's not Dean Ambrose. So he throws the guy in the bear suit out of the ring. And then someone is wheeling out this big ass box down to ringside. The Miz, being paranoid, thinking Dean Ambrose is inside, takes a chair and starts beating it up, starts smashing the box to shit. Maurice is yelling at him to stop, and come to find out it's a grandfather clock that Maurice had bought for him. Maurice tells him that he's ruined the celebration, and she walks off. The Miz gets on the microphone and starts blaming Dean Ambrose for all of this, and he's telling Dean Ambrose to come out to the ring. We're going to have our match, that he's chicken shit and everything like that. There's a cameraman standing in the ring, and he puts down the camera and takes off everything, and it's Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose gives the Miz the dirty deeds. We then have a tag team match between Gallows and Anderson, the club, and it was supposed to be Enzo and Cass, but Cass is unable to continue because he got beat up. Enzo comes out and does his spiel and says that he called in a favor, and it's the Big Show. It was a short match. It was alright. Enzo and the Big Show got the win, as Enzo was getting the pin on Anderson. Big Show is sitting there counting, and he goes 1, 2, 3. He missed one, because that's 2, and he counted to 3. Wonder where he got that third digit up. Anyways, backstage, Enzo and Big Show run into Big Cass, and Enzo's talking about wanting to go out and celebrate. Big Cass goes, you've been gone for a couple weeks, and you probably were sneaking around here, and basically blaming Big Show for the attacks. The Big Show points out that for as big as he is, he doesn't really sneak very well. You'd see him coming a mile away, which is kind of true, because you're not going to miss that guy walking down the hallway. We then have the match for the women's championship. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Dana Brooke and Mickie James come out to the ring as well to watch the match. Alexa Bliss gets pounded by Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss gets out of the ring. She's crawling along ringside and starts a fight with Dana Brooks and Mickie James. To which Mickie James and Dana Brooks start hitting on her, which causes a disqualification, and Alexa Bliss is still the women's champion. Then a whole big fight ensues between all four of them, so Lord knows where this is going to be going. We then come to our main event, Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Jesus fucking Christ. Again, same shit, different week. It's like we have not moved away from Extreme Rules. It was a decent match. Seth Rollins was starting to get in control. He was getting ready to finish everything off. Then we got all kinds of flashy shit. Guess who's coming? It's Bray Wyatt's crap, but Bray Wyatt doesn't show up, which allows Samoa Joe to get the Coquina Clutch in on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins passes out, so Samoa Joe wins. Now, to touch on a few other backstage things that I missed in the rest of the recap, there was a video package for Goldust and R-Truth. Basically, it was the same shit as last week. As cool as it was, it's now starting to get old. I guess we'll be seeing video packages all the way up until Great Balls of Fire, when I'm going to guess that's when their match is going to be. We also had a backstage segment where Paul Heyman's getting looked at by I guess a doctor or whatever you want to call it, medic, and the phone rings, and as he picks it up, he shows the medic, and you can kind of see on the screen it says Brock, and he tells Brock Lesnar that he thinks he should come to Raw next week and basically hurt Samoa Joe. One of the things that Samoa Joe was saying in his in-ring bit that he did earlier was that he wants to take everything from Brock Lesnar, including his lucrative schedule to where he can come and go as he pleases, that's fucking stupid. When Kevin Owens had the belt, he was there every week. He may not have wrestled every week, but usually when he did, he was wrestling the same fucking people, but he was at least there. Now we have Brock Lesnar, who the last time he was on Raw was Raw right after WrestleMania, then he fucking disappeared. I can't really express the level of frustration I have with that. So I'm going to take a wild guess on next week. We're going to have Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, and I don't know, Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns, because we can't get rid of these. Well, they're probably not going to do much with Samoa Joe because Brock Lesnar is going to be there. So, like I said, we're going to use these four and drill these four into the fucking dirt for the next 7 weeks, I guess. I'm not being optimistic anymore. This was a flat out below average Raw. Some of the matches were good, but all in all, it sucked. They're rehashing shit. They're using, the same people they're duplicating all the matches all over again. They're not putting anybody new against anybody new. Half of these video packages, all these segments of where they're just talking in the fucking ring is pointless. We could be having another match in the time that it's taking them to sit there and play around in the ring. But yeah, this Raw sucked. I wasn't too crazy about it. Hopefully we'll have a better SmackDown tomorrow. So that's going to do it for this abysmal Raw recap. Leave a comment down below of what you thought about it, what you thought of this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. Hit me up on Facebook, Twitter. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.